The 5th millennium BC saw the spread of agriculture from Western Asia throughout Southern and Central Europe. Urban cultures in Mesopotamia and Anatolia flourished, developing the wheel. Copper ornaments became more common, marking the beginning of the Chalcolithic. Animal husbandry spread throughout Eurasia, reaching China. World population grew slightly throughout the millennium, possibly from 5 to 7 million people. Cultures. Fertile Crescent-Abade culture in Mesopotamia. Umuk-Tepe and Gozlakul cultures in South Anatolia. Egypt. Badari culture on the Nile. Merimd culture on the Nile in prehistoric Egypt. China. Yangshao culture on the Yellow River. Proto-Austronesian culture is based on the south coast of China. They combine extensive maritime technology, fishing with hooks and nets and gardening. Europe. Cycladic culture, a distinctive Neolithic culture amalgamating Anatolian and mainland Greek elements, arose in the Western Aegean before 4000 BC. Varna culture in the Balkans 4400–4100 BC. Vinca culture in the Balkans. Combe ceramic culture in northeast Europe. Samara culture on the Volga. Saradnistog culture on the Dnieper. Lengyel culture in Eastern Europe. Events. 5000–4500 BC. Gardalam phase of Neolithic farmers on Malta, possibly immigrant farmers from the Agrigento region of Sicily. 5000–4000 BC. Bowl from Banpo, near Xian, Shaanxi, is made. Neolithic period Jiangshao culture, now kept at Banpo Museum. 5000–2000 BCE. Neolithic period in China. 4900–4600 BC. Arrangements of circular ditches are built in Central Europe. 4800 BC. Dimony culture replaces the Sesklo culture in Thessaly, Greece. c. 4500 BC. Settlement of Chalcolithic in Cyprus dates from this period. c. 4500 BC. Ending of Neolithic IA in Cyprus. c. 4350 BC. Kikai caldera in Japan forms in a massive VEI7 eruption. c. 4300 BC. First funnel Bika culture in North and East Germany. 4300 BC. Theta Bootis became the nearest visible star to the celestial North Pole. It remained the closest until 3942 BC, when it was replaced by Thuban. c. 4250–3750 BC. Menhir alignments at Menac, Karnak, France are made. 4200 BC. Date of Mesolithic examples of Nirala binding found in Denmark, marking spread of technology to northern Europe. 4100–3500 BC. New wave of immigration to Malta from Sicily leads to the Ebug and Mgar phases, and to the Gantia phase of temple builders. Inventions, discoveries, introductions. Rice is domesticated in China. Later, it is introduced in the Ganges Valley and the rest of Asia. Farming reaches Atlantic coast of Europe from ancient Near East. Maize is cultivated in Mexico. Proto-writing, such as ideographic Vinca symbols, Tartaria tablets. c. 5000 BC. Metallurgy during the Copper Age in Europe. c. 5000 BC. Agriculture starts in ancient Japan. Beans and gourds are cultivated. Plough is introduced in Europe. Gold metallurgy introduced in nowadays Bulgaria. Vina culture. Copper pins dating to 4000 BC found in Egypt. Water buffalo are domesticated in China. Beer brewing is developed. Wheel is developed in Mesopotamia and India. Environmental changes. 5000–4900 BC. The Older Peron transgression, a warm period that would dominate the 5th millennium, begins in this period. According to early Anthropocene hypothesis, the early farming practices started to raise the atmospheric CO2 levels to pre-industrial levels. Calendars and chronology. 4713 BC. The epoch of the Julian period described by Joseph Justus Scaliger occurred on January 1, the astronomical Julian day number 0. 4241 BC. Edward Mayer's date for the creation of the Egyptian calendar, based on his calculations of the Sothic cycle. Biblical chronology. 4004 BC, according to the Ussher chronology, created by James Ussher based on the Old Testament of the Bible. The universe is created because God had nightfall.